All right. This is
Just us
Bhagavad
chickens.
Gita, original Sanskrit. We have an English translation by Lars Martin Fossé.
Oh, Lars.
Lars. Um. do, 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 mm. Gonna scroll for a bit while I get through.
I love the empty pages. They're my favorite.
Yeah, empty pages. We don't really need the introduction. If you feel like reading the introduction, I suppose you're welcome to. This part of the introduction is fun. Um,
Hello.
but then, hello, welcome. We are just about to scroll our way out of the introduction. Well, I guess we should talk theoretically about the introduction, but maybe not like page for page.
Welcome to
Um,
Bhagavad
Mm-hmm.
Gita.
welcome to Bhagavad Gita. So honestly, go reading through the introduction is probably worth it if you don't know a lot of background information. This introduction effectively is giving you an overall summary of the story. Like, this means war. Krishna acts as counselor to the Pandavas. The Gita is found right here, with the two armies facing each other and ready for battle. So, it's going to take you for a play-by-play of what's going on. The introduction is actually, in my opinion, rewrites the whole book. But condenses it. Um,
I
unfortunately,
remember
hmm?
I studied this book in school, and without this introductory context, the rest of it is I mean, like, it's a fun story, but you're gonna miss a lot of the shit it's talking about
Mm-hmm.
because like about half of it's metaphor.
Yep. So, the Indian tradition holds that the entire Mahabharata was written by Vyasa. The American traditional pandits still hold this view. Um, let's see. Other nuggets of information you
Was it
need to know. What?
was that Mahabharata? Yeah, no,
Yep.
Mahabharata. I see.
Mahabharata.
Mahabharata, yes.
That
Mahabharata.
name sounds familiar, but I can't call.
It's my grandpa.
Oh, I didn't know I knew him.
Everyone knows my
Wow.
grandpa.
My grandpapa. Um,
Zoe Karya.
Hello. I
Is
was
this
here
your
before, but
grandpa?
now I'm on my own.
Karya?
Who is my grandpa?
so
Is
My grandpa.
Captain, is Karya your grandpa?
Yes.
weird incest going on then. All right.
Great way to start the book.
So scholars believe the parts of the Gita might go back as far as 3rd century BCE, while the theistic parts probably stem back as far as the 2nd century BCE. Let's see some little numbers for you.
No, it's interesting. I didn't know that it was written, well, that the different chapters were written in different times.
Yeah, it's not unlike the Christian Bible in that way.
Yeah, makes sense.
Um, so, like I said, worth maybe taking some time to read through the introduction. Once again, you can find this in the PDF that'll be linked everywhere. Um, trying to pull any nuggets real quick. We're gonna get to the story soon. He talks about who helped him pay for the translation. Um, marketing, blah blah. I did not gloss over the inconsistencies and difficulties in the Gita, nor did I cover up uncomfortable topics such as sacrifices, caste, sexism, and morality of war. I would say so. That's like a nice heads up that the story will entail some of those things, just as a, I suppose trigger warning would be the phrase. Um,
Indeed.
and yep, He sweated over every word, phrase, and punctuation to make the translation as clear and smooth as possible, using up-to-date terminology and international standard written English. Good job, my man.
Yeah.
In the Vedas, Brahman relates especially to the power inherent in the mantras. So that's something to know for you. It also
Oh,
says that the navel of the universe and the navel of breaths, generally, Brahman stands for the absolute. Atman is Brahman. This is a phrase you learn if you take a Eastern philosophy class like I did in college.
Or if you become enlightened.
Can be interpreted in many ways. I prefer to give this brief explanation term Brahman rather than translate it. Form is Brahmic. The word yoga, almost 150 times in the Gita. It's a complex term. It allows for a number of different interpretations, all independent upon the context. I think that is an interesting thing you should go into when you're reading something that's been translated from another language. Is that oftentimes we're like, that's a single word over and over and over again. But like what it is just that word has so many different flavors to it depending on the context it's used in or the other words around it, that in context for the language, it can have an entirely different meaning that a native speaker is taking from it.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's absolutely true. I heard it once mentioned that I mean the the word dharma also exists in a Hindu context, and I heard it can basically have
Yeah.
100 different meanings.
Yes. Yeah, so it's easy as English speakers for us to boil it all down too simply, I think. So, yeah,
Yeah.
just like you said, Ben. Um, so as we go into that, that's something we'll keep in mind. Um, the only way to get a truly intimate understanding of a Sanskrit text is to learn Sanskrit.
You know, they're not wrong.
I'm not going
Yep.
to do that, unfortunately.
Makes sense. Yeah.
I considered it for about a half hour once. I'm just like, no.
No, this is too hard.
I had a friend who had to learn Sanskrit in school because she's Indian, like lives in India, and apparently she says it's really hard.
Mm-hmm. I bet.
She's
I
smart though.
bet.
I think someone mentioned in the Sangha he was going or they were going to learn Sanskrit, and found a YouTube video, and it basically says lesson number 100, and it was a 1 hour long video. So
Oh my goodness.
yeah, that's quite the task.
I know Vajira knows Sanskrit. That one who owns that other server.
Oh, yeah.
um, some concern was brought up, which we'll address before we start reading, that this isn't a Buddhist text, and we are a pretty Buddhist-centric um, server and community. But I will say that I think this author has a great point here that this text can speak to you across the boundaries of language, religion, and culture. I found that definitely to be true the first time I read it. I found it very interesting, and there are parts of it that were meaningful to me despite my lack of understanding of the full context. You know, I might be interpreting it differently than a native speaker or culturally, but it was still very meaningful to me at the time. And so we're just going to go in with open eyes and be ready to have a good time.
Yeah, I'm just reading the sentence. Each and every chapter title could have begun with the yoga of, and that's I think how it's handled in my German translation.
Ah, okay. Yeah.
It's been a while since I've read it, but I think I should be able to remember the gist of it.
Okay. Well, this will be fun then. It's been a while since I've read it as well.
You know what?
All right, chapter 1. So what I thought we would do maybe is take turns reading chunks, little chunks. Or we can just go down the list of people in voice chat. So like I would read this part, then Ben could read this part, and then if Sam is okay. I see she's muted. You know what I mean? Just
Sure.
like one little paragraph at a time, and then that should make it pretty interesting, kind of like popcorning it.
I
That makes
love
sense?
popcorn.
I'm down for
Alrighty.
it.
I think it'll be a little more fun for us, and then we'll all be kind of involved in this process. Okay, so first I'm going to have to think real hard about how to pronounce this word. Dhritarashtra said, "When my troops and the sons of Pandu, eager to fight, were arrayed on the Kuru field in the field of law, what did they do, Sanjaya?"
Right. Sanjaya said, when Duryodhana the king saw the army of the Pandu sons assembled, he went to his teacher and spoke these words.
Guess you have to give us an order.
Yeah,
What's
the order
order?
is how we are in voice chat.
Oh, well, dang, okay.
It's the easy order because I
Hold
can
on,
see it
how do I?
consistently in order.
Look at this huge army of the Pandu sons, teacher, arrayed for battle by the son of Drupada, the brilliant student of yours.
Is it my turn?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Here are the heroes, great archers, the equals of
Bhima.
Bhima and Arjuna in battle. You
Oh no.
Yadana?
I'm sorry you got this this paragraph.
Virata in the great warrior Drupada. Just Takatu.
My
Yep.
names.
Sekita.
I'm probably gonna make some karmic sin not being able to pronounce these names.
It'll be okay.
Uh, in the hurricane of Kashi Parajit, Kani
Yeah.
Shalimaya, bull among men, Yadamanya, the bold and heroic Udamaj.
You're doing great. Keep going.
So close. So close.
I have no room to,
So,
to speak ill of how people pronounce
Rajra,
things. It's fine.
in the sons of Drupada, all of them great warriors. Okay, next person.
But, best of Brahmins, hear about our superior men, the leaders of my army. I will mention them by name.
That's not fair. That's not
All right, just to catch up. So what we're looking here is the gathering of armies. I'm sure y'all have gotten that just as a. And then
An
there.
interesting point. I'm sorry, I didn't want to interrupt you. An interesting point to mention is that I think Sanya is its name. If you scroll up again, Sanyaya, he basically has the gift of farsight because he's a very righteous person. At least that's what's the explanation that was given in my version. So basically, they are far away, but Sanyaya can actually tell the king what happens because, as I said, he has the city of farsight, basically.
Ooh. And then we get a list of the different armies and equals coming into battle. And then more, I'm going to mention them by name, which is great. List of names. It's my turn. You yourself,
Oh no.
Bhishma, Karna, and Kripa, victor in battle, Ashvathaman and Vikarna, as well as the son of Somadatta, and many other heroes willing to sacrifice their lives for my sake, all battle-hardened wielders of many kinds of weapons.
You practiced that.
No, I did not. So we have an excellent list of people we should be afraid of in battle. Here we go.
Very fine.
That
list.
force protected by Bhima is not a match for us, but this force protected by Bhishma is a match for them. I think Bhishma is I think he may be one of the venerated teachers
Ah.
for both the Pandus and the Kauravas, is it? Basically, I mean, the leaders of both armies are essentially cousins, and the I think Bhishma or Bhima, they are both teachers, and they basically trained both sides. So
Right. This is for context, a battle, a royal family battle.
Mm-hmm.
Family feud.
Okay. Sam.
Is it my turn or Icario's?
It is my turn to. I have lost track a little. Indeed, it is Bhishma you must all protect along all avenues as you of approach as you man your respective position.
Now it's you, Selenia.
In order to encourage him. Wait, is that?
Yep.
Okay, that one.
Yep.
In order to encourage him, grandfather, the magician's Tikuro elder roared his lion roar and blew his conch.
Is it me now?
Yep.
Then, all of a sudden, the conches, kettle drums, cymbals, big drums, and horns were sounded. It was a tumultuous noise.
And standing on their great chariot yoked with white horses, Madhava and the son of Pandu blew their divine conches. Why are these conches everywhere?
It's symbolic.
I think they're basically some sort of trumpet.
Yeah, they're like
Yeah, they're
little
like
horns.
Mm-hmm.
Trumpet before the trumpet was invented.
So Rishikesha blew his pankayanya Danayan. Oh my God,
Here we go.
Danayaya his Devadatta, and Wolf Belly of Terrible Deeds blew the great conch pounder. I don't think that's very important.
Are they just playing telephone right now? Like blowing all these conches? Like one person
Kind
hears
of.
it and the other
I
does
think
it?
it's like a wolf pack howling. Like
They're sounding the horns of war,
Yes.
more or less.
King Yudhishthira, the son of Kunti, blew his Anara Vijaya, Nakula, and Sahadeva, their Srigosa and Anapuspa. Okay,
Oh no.
those were many words.
Is it the third one?
Yeah.
Kashi King.
The Kashi King.
Okay.
You want me to do the big one as
Great
well?
archer. The Kashi King, the great archer, the great warrior, Shikandi, the Resh, Tene Yumna, and Virata, and the undefeated Satyaka, Drupada, and the sons of Drupada altogether, O Lord of Earth, as well as the mighty armed Saubhadra, blew their conches, each one and every one.
This thundering sound rent the hearts of the sons of... Dhritarashtra, resounding through earth and sky.
Here you go, Max. Read this one too.
Then the ape-bannered son of Pandu, seeing the sons of Dhritarashtra lined up, lifted his bow as the clash of arms began, and spoke these words to Hrishikesha, O Lord of the earth. Akyuta, station my chariot between the two armies, so that I may observe these men, standing eager for battle, with whom I must fight in this strenuous engagement.
Who was Horishikesha? Is that a deity or a noble?
Lord of the earth, I think. I don't know.
Who I think the Pandu are the good guys, right? Or the quote unquote good guys.
I don't know.
I'm gonna Google it real quick.
There's no good side in the war.
Who is the
I'm
good
going to
guys
grab
in the Bible?
my translation real quick so I can
Okay.
compare. 1 second.
Doing it, y'all. We're finally doing it.
Pandu is the king of the Kuru kingdom. He's the father of 5 brothers who were gifted by gods with who were gifted to him by the gods. The sons were the gifts to him by the gods. Dhritarashtra is the king of Kurus. Pandu was murderized or will be murderized.
Spoilers.
Yeah, spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert.
Notably, Pandu has 2 wives. We'll need to know that later. Okay. Lots of stuff going on. All right, lots of names, lots of information. I feel like I need a flow chart already. Oh, I wonder if a flow chart exists. I'm gonna flow chart. Bhagavad Gita. It exists. Oh my goodness. Hold on, I'll pull this up here. All right, are you ready? Got a flow chart.
Those more like family tree.
Even the flowchart looks like chaos to me.
Well, I think it helps. So, like, because I remember Bhishma being mentioned, and then let's see, where are some names we've seen so far?
Okay, so my translation basically says it's very different, but it seems to me that the 2 guys, or the one who said drive my chariot between the 2 armies, is actually Arjuna himself, and he's talking to Krishna, who is his charioteer.
Oh, okay.
Yes. I remember that part.
So it seems I don't know if Achyuta is a name or a title, but that should be Krishna.
Yeah, a lot of these I think are going to be like alternate names and titles of
Yeah.
some of the same people.
But that could become very confusing, yes.
Yeah, I read 2 different versions. One of them was all over the place. I had to cross-reference the whole time. But it has been a while.
Can confirm. Can get genealogy of the Kurus and Pandus.
And basically, this one also said that when the 2 armies blew their trumpets, basically the Pandavas, who have the smaller army, basically made the bigger ruckus. So as because they are a little more perhaps motivated, since they are on the side of good, so to speak, or they know their cause is a just one, as opposed to the other guys who were usurpers, I think.
I see these men who have assembled here, ready to fight, wanting to please the evil-minded son of Dhritarashtra in battle. When Gudakesha had spoken to him thus, O Bharata, Harish Shikesha, I feel so bad for saying these names bad, stationed their splendid chariot between the 2 armies, right in front of Bhishma, Drona, and all the kings, and said, Son of Pritha, behold these Kurus assembled.
There the son of Pritha, which again is Arjuna, saw standing fathers and grandfathers, as well as teachers, uncles, brothers, sons, grandsons, friends, fathers-in-law, and even allies in both armies. When the son of Kunti had seen them, all these relatives arrayed, he was overcome with the greatest compassion, deeply saddened, and said this: When I see my family willing and ready to fight, Krishna, my limbs falter, my mouth goes dry, there is a trembling in my body, and my hairs bristle.
Andiva slips from my hand, and as for my skin, it burns. I cannot stand firm, and my mind seems to whirl. Did I read the next one too?
Sure.
I see inauspicious portents, Keshava, and I see nothing good achieved by killing my family in battle.
As we're reading, like a lot of information is starting to come back to me,
Uh-huh.
and I'm like,
Gandiva is his bow, just as a sword info, a short info.
oh. It's like a lot of the information being like this dialogue that's going to go on about how much this particular character doesn't want to participate in the battle and is very torn between which is right and wrong, and just a lot of stuff. Anyway, sorry.
Oh yeah, the whole conversation is the Bhagavad Gita mainly.
Yeah, and mainly Krishna talking.
Yeah.
Later then.
Krishna. All right.
Just
Selenium, read the
I
next
don't
two.
desire.
Oops.
I don't desire victory, Krishna, nor kingdom of pleasures. What is the use of a kingdom to me, Govinda? What is the enjoyment or life?
Wait for it. Wait for it.
What?
Read the next one too. We're gonna do two at a time.
Oh, okay.
Unless it's a really long one, then you only have to do one.
For precisely those who stake in a desired kingdom, enjoyment and pleasures are standing in line to battle against us, giving up their lives and riches.
Teachers, fathers, sons, yes, even grandfathers, uncles, fathers-in-law, grandsons, brothers-in-law, and other kinsmen. Those I don't want to kill, even if they kill us. Wait. Madhusudana, even for the kingdom of the three worlds, and even less for the earth. What joy would we gain, Janardana, by killing the sons of Dhritarashtra? Only evil would accrue to us by killing these malefactors.
Therefore, we must not kill the sons of Dhritarashtra, our kinsmen. How could we become happy by killing our family? Even if they, their minds seduced by greed, do not see the wickedness of destroying the family and the crime of betraying their friends, how could we fail to know what we should turn away from this evil, we who see the wickedness of destroying the family, Janardana?
When the family is destroyed, the eternal family laws are lost, and when the law is lost, lawlessness overwhelms the whole family.
I think we do get into some very lovely, I say lovely, not in like this situation is lovely, but just the lovely pedestal they kind of hold the family at, like this idea of their family and how important it is to respect the members of your family. So, anyway, just as a side note.
Should I do this one as well? Or?
Sure, if you'd like.
Okay, sure. Because lawlessness prevails, Krishna, the women of the family become corrupted. When the women are corrupted, son of Vrishni, the classes get confused, a confusion leading to hell for family and family killers. For the fathers fall deprived of their offerings of rice balls and water.
I want a rice ball. That sounds good.
Because of these transgressions, the family killers which cause confusion of the classes, the eternal caste laws and family laws are set aside. We have heard, Janardana, that a place in hell is guaranteed for men who have set aside their family laws. Alas, we have decided to do great evil because we are ready to kill our family out of greed for the pleasures of the kingdom. If the sons of Dhritarashtra, weapons in hand, were to kill me in battle, unresisting and unarmed, that would be better.
Ooh. So this character, I forget who the main speaker is.
Right now
That's
it's Arjuna.
Okay,
Yeah.
it's Arjuna.
Basically, he's lamenting he doesn't want to kill his family, even though he has the
Right.
just cause. Genau.
So he's feeling very distressed. And I think that's
Anxious.
important to remember. It's just how sad he is.
With these words, Arjuna let go of his bow and arrows in the midst of battle and sank down in his chariot, his mind tormented with sorrow. Thus ends the chapter entitled Reflection upon Arjuna's Despair, and the instruction which teaches the sacred knowledge given by the exalted Krishna in his conversations with Arjuna. The auspicious Gita, which is in the work of 100,000 verses, the glorious Mahabharata.
So, notably, one thing to take away from this is the Bhagavad Gita is a small part of the Mahabharata. Um,
Which is a huge epic.
mm-hmm.
Bro, why would they teach us in my world history class? They're separate books then.
The same reason that historians will tell you that the Torah is separate from the Christian Bible when the Christian Bible has the Torah kind of inside of it.
Oh, okay.
Because you can learn from one separately, but
Basically, some people I think consider the Gita to be the core or the perhaps the spiritually most important part.
yeah. Anyway, chapter 2. I would say as far as action goes, not a lot has happened, except we are aware of a lot of families are at war. We know that the Pandus and the Kurus are fighting, right? Is that correct? Yes. The Dhritarashtra's and Pandus are fighting. There's fighting everywhere. Everywhere it's fighting. Everyone's mad for some reason. Anyway, here you go. If you want to look at genealogy. What are we doing? Where was I?
Next chapter.
Yes. Theory. The author has decided to call chapter 2.
Well, in my book, it's called Sankhya Yoga, or the way of realization.
That makes sense.
Oh, okay. I see how that
Yeah, I can see how that
is comparable.
Mm-hmm. All right. Max, why don't you read this whole page? There you go.
Okay. Sanjaya said, thus overcome with compassion, his eyes filled with tears and despair, Madhusudana spoke to him. The Lord said, why has this foul delusion come over you in this critical hour, Arjuna? It is ignoble, it doesn't lead to heaven, and it is disgraceful. Do not succumb to cowardice, son of Pritha. This is unworthy of you. Shake off this petty faintness of heart. Stand up, scorcher of enemies.
So basically, this is Krishna reprimanding Arjuna for, basically being overcome with weakness in this moment.
Mm-hmm. Arjuna said, how can I fight with arrows against Bhishma and Drona in battle? Madhusudana. They are worthy of homage, enemy slayer. It is better to eat beggars' food here in this world than to kill teachers of great honor. If I were to kill my teachers, who are greedy for wealth here, I would enjoy pleasures smeared with blood. Nor do we know what is better for us, whether we win or lose. The sons of Dhritarashtra are arrayed before us. If we kill them, we shall not wish to live. My deepest nature has been stricken by the error of compassion. With a mind confused about the law, I ask you what would be best. Tell me this for sure. I am your student. Teach me as I seek refuge in you. Arjuna kind of begging, looks for guidance.
Yeah.
Very, very dark imagery here.
Mm-hmm. I mean, like, this is very impassioned, you know, like these are not low stakes in any way.
Right. Very high stakes happening here. All right. Sam, you have this page.
For I see nothing that would dispel this sorrow of mine which desiccates my senses, even if on earth I obtained unrivaled wealth, a kingdom, yes, even sovereignty over the gods. Sanjaya said, O scorcher of enemies, after Gudakesha said this to Rishikesha, he added, I will not fight, and then fell silent. With a hint of derision, O Bharata, Rishikesha spoke these words to him as he sat despairing between the two armies. The Lord said, You sorrow over men you should not be sorry for, yet you address issues of learning. Wise men grieve neither for the dead nor for the living.
Ooh.
Never was there a time where I did not exist, nor you, nor these lords of men, and never shall any of these cease to exist thereafter. Just as the body itself passes through childhood, youth, and old age in the body, in the same manner it will obtain another body. A wise man is not confused about this. Contacts with the elements, sonakuti, are the source of cold, heat, pain, and pleasure. They come and go eternally, endure them all. Bharata. The man whom they do not trouble will among men, the wise man for whom pain and pleasure are the same, he is fit for immortality. There is no becoming of the non-existent, nor any unbecoming from existent. The boundary between these two has been perceived by those. But the boundary between those two have been perceived by those who've seen the basic principles.
I think this is the part of the Bhagavad Gita where you start to see, I think, more parallels between some Buddhist thought. Um, and perhaps I'm making connections that are obscure, but
The big
No, it
difference,
makes sense.
of course, being that I think they don't mention it here, but he's basically talking about the Atman and who's unchanging, and basically, even if this body ages and dies, the Atman lives on.
yeah,
Yeah.
there's an eternal part, and then yeah, and that's where I think a lot of the parallels start to see, and it's worth the time to see those because it's kind of said very beautifully in the Bhagavad Gita. Anyway, Max, this is your
Think
page.
about this. Think about this. Well, it's like in the. Oh,
You're muted.
Yeah, you're muted, Max. I only know you're talking because I can sort of hear you on Sam just a little bit.
oops.
As they were walking away too, so that wouldn't have lasted either.
So think of the mythology. Like Krishna is, in essence, the body of all beings.
Yeah.
All of these people on the war front are him, and he sees that clearly.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he's not playing any games, and he's like, we are all here to fight. That's why we're here, and you're not doing it. Like, you're gonna be all of this is me. This is a big game of mine.
Mm-hmm.
But you're not even gonna play. Just a second, I'm getting my shoes on, and then I'll read.
Shoes.
But like, it's like you're killing Krishna in this war. Krishna killing himself. So the fact that Arjuna, a learned student, directly being taught by Krishna, is like failing to get it, that's why Krishna's annoyed. It's like, I done told you, son. Why are you like this?
And then he burped in Arjuna's face.
Yeah. Why can't gods be like that more often? Okay.
We would have a weird relationship with them.
Oh, yeah. We don't now, though. It's fine.
Yeah.
Right now, everything's good.
Yeah.
Perfectly sensible.
Know that this, on which all the world has been strung, is indestructible. No one can bring about the destruction of this imperishable being. It is these bodies of the embodied, eternal, imperishable, and unfathomable self which come to an end. Therefore fight, Bharata. He who thinks the embodied self is a slayer, and he who imagines it is slain. Neither of these understand. It does not slay, nor it is slain. It is never born, and it never dies, nor will it come to life again when it has ceased to be. It is unborn, eternal, constant, and ancient. It is not slain when the body is slain.
Ooh. How does the man who knows this indestructible, eternal, unborn, and imperishable principle, son of Pritha, have anybody killed or kill anybody? Like a man who has cast off his old clothes, put on others that are new. Thus the embodied self casts off old bodies and moves on to others that are new. Weapons do not cut it. Fire does not burn it. Water does not wet it. Wind does not parch it.
Okay, so I think that requires a little bit of reflection
Mm-hmm.
because when I was reading this the first time, this part of the chastisement
Yeah.
is crucial that it be understood correctly with quotes around that.
Mm-hmm.
Because someone could easily read this and be like, oh, I can kill people because it doesn't matter. And that's not at all what he's saying.
Right.
You can kill people because you are a soldier on a battlefield. It is your duty to do this. You can't do it just because it doesn't matter,
Mm-hmm.
right? But that context is so vitally important. That's why I think this book can be quite dangerous if read without, context or any sort of discussion, right? Because you can easily misinterpret this and be like, well, we all come back anyway, so let me just go on a shooting spree.
There's something also to remember about like the difference between Hinduism and like Buddhism is that with like the caste system, with your duty in your caste is more important, you know, than
Oh, yeah.
in Buddhism. So with Arjuna, I'm assuming he's somewhere in the warrior caste, some kind of heavenly version of it.
Yes.
And by him not completing it, that's more of an insult than if he was just like a lord or like a merchant. Because then you could just say, oh, it wasn't his duty to complete that. But
Yeah.
here
Right.
it really is.
Right. You wouldn't go
According
throw
to
a
the
salesman
universe.
and give him a gun, yeah.
Yeah.
And that's absolutely true. The caste system is just fundamentally baked into the metastructure of Hinduism.
Yeah.
And they are very, very big on here's your role, follow your role,
Yeah.
and that's all you have to do.
You have your duty, your everything.
And as is said by Krishna, essentially, your duty is more important than your feelings.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I just want to get that context out there real quick.
Yeah. It's not like in Buddhism where he's supposed to not want to kill someone because that's compassionate. That's a compassionate response.
So that was the first part of the Bhagavad Gita, and we won't be able to read further until I find another translation that has more of it.
Oh, okay.
Because actually that's just where this particular sample ends.
Oh, I see.
But it got us a really good chunk of the way in, so I was
Right.
like, that'll give me time to try to find something. So
Yeah, I think I would appreciate a different translation because this is very confusing, which using different names all the time, and
yeah,
basically, with all the names in the beginning, it was kind of superfluous, in my opinion.
Well, I mean, let's keep in mind, the sutras do a lot of that of just it's not like here's a whole bunch of names, but it's let me say the same thing 8 times in a row. So like,
Yeah, I mean that's due to the whole.
It's
oral
true, but it doesn't
tradition.
make it easier to unpack.
Oh no, for sure. No. Yeah. Ancient documents are the best.
Yeah.
all right. I found a website that offers me 3 translations. We got one by Vladimir Antonov, one by Sri Swami Sivananda, and Sri Parawit Swami.
None of those names ring a bell.
It's okay. I'm going
I don't
to
think any
link
of them
this.
Shivananda, the Swami Shivananda, perhaps.
Oh wait, no,
See
that one does.
who does the one we have in physical form, because I feel like that one was pretty. Just a moment.
But anyway, I think that went super well. Thank you guys for discussing it. Any other commentary on the part we have gone over so far? This
I mean, it's
dialogue.
basically the introduction to the whole thing, and I think it says one of the core ideas, basically, that the Atman's eternal and
Mm-hmm.
everything in the physical world, well,
So
basically constantly changing, as we learn in Buddhism also. But as opposed to Buddhism, we have the unchanging Atman.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah. I think that's a great point.
the one we have is interesting because it's a little more. It's arranged more like a poem almost, but the translator for that one is Barbara Stoller Miller.
Ah.
And from what I remember of it, I don't know. I really liked the translation, and it seemed. I don't know that it's less namey, like less confusing with the names. But
No, mine's not less confusing with the names. Mine's by W.J. Johnson. It's the Oxford World's Classics version.
oh, okay, yeah. Oxford.
Yeah. Anyway, but we'll pick a new version to kind of use for next meeting, and then maybe we'll just do that. We'll just switch versions every meeting and see if we glean new
We
insights.
find a good one.
Huh?
Find a good one or glean more information by comparing.
Yeah.
Find one that resonates.
And we're like, oh, dang, this one's amazing. We're sticking with this one, y'all.
This translation slaps.
This slaps.
Yeah, this is fire. This is fuego.
All right.